If you have a car payment, I want you to pause for a second. Like actually pause. Because the reaction you just had, that little tightening in your chest, that's not random. That's the feeling this entire system is built on. And no, this isn't going to be a don't enjoy life rant or a lecture about coffee. This is about something way more uncomfortable. A financial trap that looks so normal most people never question it. Look around any parking lot today. Brand new trucks, shiny SUVs, temporary tags everywhere. Everyone looks like they're doing fine, which is fascinating, because statistically they're not. We've somehow reached a point where people are driving vehicles that cost more than the median household income, while complaining about grocery prices in the same sentence, and nobody seems to think that's weird anymore. Here's the official explanation we're all given. Cars are more expensive now. Interest rates are higher. You need something reliable. So the responsible move is to finance it. Spread the cost out. Keep your cash. Sounds logical. Sounds mature. It sounds exactly like something a reasonable adult would say, right before wondering why their paycheck disappears 2 days after it hits their account. Because here's the first uncomfortable truth. The math isn't broken. The system is. Dealerships don't sell cars. They sell monthly obligations. That's why the first question isn't, how much is the car? It's what payment are you comfortable with? 72-month loans used to be considered reckless. Now they're standard. 84 months. Totally normal. Some lenders are quietly experimenting with loans even longer than that. Congratulations. You're now financially committed to a vehicle for longer than most people stay married. And here's where the data makes this hit harder. The average new car payment in the US has crossed $700 per month. That's not luxury cars, that's average. For trucks and SUVs, which most Americans now buy by default, payments regularly exceed $900. Seeing $1,100 or $1,200 payments is no longer shocking. That's rent money. That's mortgage money. But somehow, when it's a car, we shrug and say, well, you need transportation. Lower payments don't make cars affordable. They make bad decisions quieter. When you stretch a $60,000 truck over 8 years, the payment looks manageable. But the total cost explodes. You're not saving money. You're just agreeing to pay more for longer. And by the time you're halfway through that loan, the car is worth dramatically less than what you still owe. That's not unlucky. That's baked into the design. This is where the cascade starts. You buy the car. Insurance takes one look and says, oh, you're that person now, and your premium jumps. Gas costs more than you expect. Maintenance shows up uninvited. Then life piles on. Rent goes up. Food gets more expensive. Your savings slowly disappear. But the car payment, completely unbothered. Same amount. Same due date. Every month, you don't feel broke. You feel trapped. Then comes the moment nobody plans for. A few years in, you realize you want out. The car isn't exciting anymore. Or life changed. Or the payment just feels heavy. So you think, I'll sell it. Except you can't. Because you owe more than it's worth. You're upside down, financially, emotionally, spiritually. You're now making payments on something you can't escape. That's not ownership. That's a subscription with consequences. And here's the part nobody explains clearly enough. That payment doesn't just take money. It takes options. Want to quit a job you hate? Hard to do when $900 disappears automatically every month. Start a business? Risky when your financial runway is gone. Build an emergency fund? Sure, right after the car gets paid. Your future is now scheduled, monthly, on autopay. Nothing says freedom like a recurring calendar reminder from your bank. This feels normal because everyone's doing it. Teachers, nurses, mechanics, office workers. Not secret millionaires, regular people with regular jobs. And that's the genius of the system. When everyone is stretched thin, nobody looks panicked. We normalize the stress. We normalize the exhaustion. Cars become identity. Loans become adulthood. And struggling quietly becomes the default setting. The automotive industry understands this psychology perfectly. They don't sell transportation anymore. They sell status, security, and self-worth. That truck climbing a mountain in the commercial isn't about hauling lumber. It's about convincing you that this purchase says something important about who you are. And once your identity is tied to the vehicle, the payment feels justified, even when it's quietly wrecking your financial flexibility. When you zoom out and run the real numbers, it gets darker. A typical $55,000 truck financed over 7 years can easily cost over $130,000 once you add insurance, fuel, maintenance, and interest. And at the end of all that, you own a vehicle worth maybe $15,000 if you're lucky. That's not transportation spending. That's wealth destruction with heated seats. The most uncomfortable part is what that same money could have done elsewhere. Hundreds of dollars a month, invested consistently, can quietly build real security. But once someone commits to the payment, something psychological happens. They start defending it. The car becomes proof of their hard work. Suggesting a cheaper alternative feels like an insult. This is automotive Stockholm syndrome. Emotionally bonding with the thing holding you hostage. A paid-off car isn't impressive. It doesn't turn heads. Nobody compliments it. But it does something incredibly powerful. It shuts up a bill. And silence is rare. Silence gives you room to think, to breathe, to take risks, to say no. The system doesn't reward that kind of freedom, but your life absolutely does. And once you really see this trap, you can't unsee it. Cars, phones, housing, subscriptions. Same structure, same psychology, different logos. The question isn't whether you can afford the payment. It's what that payment is quietly costing you every single month. Hey there. If you want to stay on top of all things finance and never miss an update, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Because at Finance Between Us, we're all about making money matter simple for you.